Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's another day of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. As always, we have Kelly Cook with us today. How are you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing fantastic.
Wonderful.
You know, like I said, it's always a choice, right? And I choose. There's some stuff going on. Guys, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, right? It's just not. It's just not. And today we had one of those episodes where it wasn't that. But I can still choose to be positive and fantastic, which ultimately I am, right? Because there's people that around the world that are they can't even get lunch today, right? Or dinner. So we're good to go. We're good to go.
Things happen, but it's all up to you how you take it and what you make from it. So wonderful. Amen. Well, perfect. So today we are talking about a topic that I'm sure a lot of you get when you have somebody who wants to sell their house. This is the exact position I'm in right now. I'm hoping to sell my house soon, but I am at a loss. What do I do? Not only to sell it, it could probably sell, right? We all know we're in a hot market. Like I could probably put it up as is and somebody would probably buy it. But the goal is to get the most money out of it, right? You want to have a good chunk of money so that you can put that towards your next house or do whatever you want with it. You want to get the most value out of your home. So I don't think I'm alone in that. You all probably have clients that are in that same position. So as the real estate agent, the real estate expert, what are you telling your clients that they need to do, Kelly? What are the best ways to get money out of your house, the most money out of your house?
I love what you said, because you're right. You could sell your house, and so could anyone else in the country that wanted to do that. But the question is, what are you going to leave on the table in doing so? And I think a lot of people say, well, you got to have a good agent. And there are some obviously really good ones out there. There's a lot more really bad ones, right? And the really bad ones that provide no value aren't going to just do that, right? They're not going to cover their fee that you're going to pay them, right? And then some. And that's our goal every time we sell a house for a client. So in addition to being a good real estate agent, there are, I guess let me back up. What makes a good real estate agent? Boy, that sounds like a good podcast right there, Elizabeth. But
yeah, next week, tune in.
One thing is providing value, right? That's still a big umbrella. There's a lot of ways to provide value. But we're going to specifically talk about an opinion that you should have as an agent when you go to give advice to someone looking to possibly sell their house. And these, I have 6 things, guys, that are time tested that I always use. And let me tell you something, they work. They work really well. Now, short of doing a full remodel on someone's house, which most people won't do because either A, it costs too much money, or B, it's too inconvenient, or C, it's too much time, or all of the above. These are things that can be done without spending too much money, that won't have you living in dust, right? And the heat because your AC is not, or your electrical panels being whatever, right? So these are things that are very doable that you should have an opinion on when you go talk to a seller. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay.
I'm excited to hear these. Thanks, Kelly, for the free advice.
And there's gonna be some stuff on here that, by the way, is not like your typical, oh, I've heard that before, right? But there are some things that are, because again, they work, right? Stick to what works and don't chase every shiny little object, right? All right, number 1, declutter your house and get a storage unit. Now, that storage unit possibly could be your garage. That sometimes people, I don't have enough, money or time to go. Fine, use your garage, right? Well, I park my cars in there. Okay, well then maybe for a short period of time where your house sells, you have to park in the street or in the driveway or whatever.
That's exactly the stage I'm at right now. But yes, we're both in the driveway because we're using the garage.
Yeah. Now let's be clear. The best option is to, go get a pod somewhere or whatever, right? Or get a storage unit and spend extra money if you got it, to put it elsewhere, because even some people like to see a nice clean garage. That being said, it's not going to hurt you much if your house is dynamite, but your garage is cluttered. No big deal. It really isn't. As long as you can kind of act as if the things in the garage have a place, they look like they do, right? Somewhat organized, even though it's very cluttered. And they can step into the garage 1 or 2 steps and look around and just see how big it is, things of that nature. That's all you really need. Okay. That's step one. Less is more. Okay. Less is more. All right. And by the way, the average cost, I mean, you're looking at these 10 to 20 foot, 10 by 20 foot storage units across the country. They vary, of course, right? But on average, you're talking 125 to 150 bucks a month, you know? And if you can get your house sold, a month to prep, let's say, a month on the market to sell, a month to close, say 3 months, your investment might be somewhere in the ballpark of 450 bucks or 400 bucks, right? So well worth it because that will, I mean, you'll 10x that easy on your return, right? That you'll get in your house, if not 20 or 30x, honestly. Okay. The number two thing that you should talk about with sellers on what they do to maximize their home's value is make sure the home is certified pre-owned. Now, we've all heard of that before, right? When it comes to cars.
Cars, yeah. I never heard it for the
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
But to
Okay.
the house should be certified pre-owned. What does that mean? Well, it's going to be very similar to what dealerships do to cars. So I just took a couple of notes over here, and what we do is, oh, by the way, the reason why is, did you know that on average, it's a stat. If you just look this up, certified pre-owned cars typically sell for about 10% more than the same model of car, same year, same make that is not CPO. Say so people, the consumer values it, right? And so they would value it in houses. The thing is just like no one does it, right? So what you want to do is pay for a pre-inspection. Now, a pre-appraisal, not necessary. That's not part of this. I don't believe that's necessary to do on 99% of home sales. But a pre-inspection, yes, yes. Now, here's the catch, though. If you do a pre-home inspection, and there's some things wrong with your house, like you're pretty aware of it, you can live with it, but there's some things wrong with it. You better be ready to fix it. Okay, that's the catch with this, because if you have an inspection that comes back with 20 things that need to be fixed or remedied, and you're not willing to fix them, or let's say you're maybe willing to fix some of them, the ones that are pretty obvious, but the other ones, that's okay. But if you're not willing to fix the ones that are especially obvious, then don't bother, because it's not. I mean, think about going to buy the car that CPO and the air conditioner doesn't work. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
You don't want that.
Yeah, the CPO thing is ridiculous, right? It's not worth it. So again, if you do the CPO program, you got to be prepared to fix the list. And by the way, chances are you're going to fix the list anyways, or at least a good portion of it in a normal market. So maybe just get a jump on it and make your house stand out above the crowd. Okay. All right. Number three. Okay. Big one here. Change your front door handle. Okay.
Okay.
If your front
Okay.
door handle is weathered at all, or it's not pretty, it's extremely basic. Maybe it was there when you bought it. It's just a basic old door handle, or it's weathered, like I said, or it's a different color than the rest of the door handles throughout the interior of the house. Change it. Spend $125 at Home Depot. Right? Get your screwdriver out and change it. Right? It
Yeah.
will matter, because think about it. You don't want the buyer fighting a psychological uphill battle from the moment they walk in your house. And what's the first thing they do when they come to your house? They
Open the
touch the door
door.
handle. Yeah,
Mhm.
you got to open the door to get inside the house, right? They put their hands and they see the door handle. And if it's a brass, rusted out door handle and the rest of the interior of the house is nice, sure, they're going to like it because the interior of the house, but they're like, you find an uphill battle going, oh, geez, look at this door handle. Look at the front door. Like, oh my gosh.
They got to
Right.
think about coming home to that every day and wanting to touch that door handle.
That's right. That's right. Change the front door handle. That will help. Okay. All right. And that's, again, not much. Anyone can do that. Okay. Step 4, carpet and paint. Okay. This is a pretty common one. But guys, I'm telling you guys, paint, most people understand that, right? If you have a pink room and a green room and a orange room, you should paint the property. Now, a lot of people go, well, I'll give a paint allowance or carpet allowance. Let me tell you this: no, no, and no. Okay, that it just doesn't work that way. Well, if I got a quote from a carpet company and they said it's going to be $3,000 to replace the carpet. Okay, so I'm just going to give them a $3,000 credit. It doesn't work that way. We can do that, but you're not going to maximize the value of your home. Trust me, I've sold over 1,400 homes. That doesn't work near as well.
That's more
Because what
like an
happens is,
afterthought, right? Like
yeah,
it's not there right now, you know?
bingo. They come in there and they know, oh, they don't want they don't want to do the work. And if they want to do the work, then what do most investors want when they buy a house? A discount, right? So now they have to do the work. Or even if you padded the quote, I got $3,000, I'll give you $5,000 credit. It's still not, I don't want to mess with it, right?
And it kind
And
of it gives an overall like the feel of the home or the appearance when you're first walking. You might not like it as much, even knowing you could make it better. It's like it just the overall feel of the home might not feel as good to you, I guess, if that makes sense. Like you just won't be as impressed.
absolutely, you're spot on, Elizabeth. That's what people think. And it's an emotional buy, right? This is not a commercial 5-story building. Okay. It's an emotional buy. When someone walks, it's no different than the cookies in the oven, right? It's the smell. People probably won't even eat the cookies, right? They might think there's COVID all over it or something. I don't know, right? But the smell of the chocolate chip cookies just does something to your senses, right? Guess what? Brand new carpet, same thing. Same exact thing. People walk in, they might hate the carpet you chose, and they're going to replace the carpet anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They will pay more for your house because that new carpet smell and the carpet's in
Yeah, I was just
fantastic
about to
shape.
say, and new carpet smells good. So
Exactly. It's the new chocolate chip cookie. I'm telling you, right? So spend the money to do it. If it's $3,000, you will see a minimum, and I mean minimum, 2x return on that. Minimum, minimum, but probably more like 4 to 5x. Okay. Paint, same thing, right? Get everything neutral. Well, what if I choose a color they don't like? Don't worry about it. People get so wrapped up of, well, I'm going to waste the money if I spend, $3,000 on paint as well, and they want a different color. Doesn't matter, because if you choose now if you choose purple, that yes, that it does matter. Okay, but if you choose a neutral color, a neutral warm color, like a taupe or a brown tone, or neutral like color like a gray or off white, and if they want to paint something different, so what? You'll still receive the value add when they buy the house.
you can still
Okay,
see
so
they can still see more of like the blank slate type
bingo.
thing. Yeah.
That's right. They want the purple room in Susie's bedroom. Cool, they'll do it, but don't guess on that, right? And you will have a return on your investment from carpet paint, right? You just will. And by the way, the people, if you don't believe me, just look at all these venture capital companies that are buying houses across the country, direct to consumer, right? Open Door, etc. What do they do? Almost 9 times out of 10 when they buy a house, they resell it 10 times out of 10. But like, what do they do 9 times out of 10? They replace only the carpet and they do the paint, right? Because they know
Like
as
when
well.
you move into an apartment or whatever, even then too, those are
Yep,
usually the things that they replace. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Okay, number 5, curb appeal. Okay, don't underestimate curb appeal. All right, first impressions are everything. And when someone sees some color from with flowers, out the front somewhere, they see a nicely edged lawn as they walk up the court path to the front door. Um, Power wash the pavers with concrete. You can rent a power wash for $100 Home Depot, whatever, and just get out there and just power wash the heck out of it. All that stuff matters. Plants, get small ones. They're in soil. It's cheap, right? And if you do it yourself, it's real cheap, right? But take that extra half a day and clean the front yard. First impressions are everything, even more so than like the backyard, right? Because again, first impressions. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So okay. Last but not least, number 6. Okay, change all of the interior door hinges and handles.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Now, if
To
they
match the
if
front door, right?
front door too, yes, front door is a little more, arguably a little more important. But here's the deal: if you already have matching interior door hardware and hinges, you're good, right? As long as it matches your plumbing fixtures. Now, plumbing fixtures are a lot more hard to change, right? You have to, it's more expensive and more hard to change. In a shower, you have a mixing valve and all kinds of stuff behind the wall. So door hardware, much cheaper and easier to change. And if you look closely, some people change door hardware, but they paint the hinges. Okay. So if you're looking to buy a house and it's just been remodeled and they're advertising brand new remodel home, one of the hacks here to know if it was a quality job on the remodel, because a lot of times these flippers go in there and just put lipstick on a pig and they do a really crappy job, but it looks kind of nice, right? And you won't know half the things until you're in the house 3 or 4 months later, living there. One of the ways to know if it was a quality remodel, check the door hinges, because
If they're actually the metal that matches, and yeah.
Yep, they match the door hardware and they're not painted white. The crappy flippers who do just a really quick job and turn it really fast as possible, they cut corners, and one of the corners they cut that you can see are the door hinges. The other corners that you can't see, those are the scary ones, right?
Right.
Right. Like it could
What's
be
going
something
on
with
with the plumbing or the electric,
air conditioner or whatever, right?
Foundation.
Yeah, the attic, whatever, right? The roof truss, and who knows, right? The roof itself. So that's something that you can tell right there without getting an inspector out there or engineered inspector or whatever, right? That's one way you can tell, just to see. And if they took the time to spend $10 on a 12 pack of hinges, right, and actually change them out to match the door handle, chances are they probably did a pretty good job overall on their fix and flip.
They paid attention to the details.
Correct. The things that you can't see necessarily that still need to be addressed, they probably addressed, which is what you want, right, as a buyer, right? So those are the 6 things. So to recap,
yes,
we'll recap it here, Elizabeth. Let me make sure I don't mess this up and recap this to everybody, right? Number 1, declutter, get a storage unit, or worst case scenario, use your garage nice and neatly. Okay. Number 2, make your house certified pre-owned. Get a pre-home inspection and fix the list. Number 3, change the front door handle. And I didn't mention it really, I kind of did in passing, but if you have to, potentially the front door itself, right? And guys, we all know the neighborhoods, right? They're built like in the 80s, right? There's a Trackle neighborhood built in the 80s. Everyone knows it's built in the 80s. And if you remodel the whole house or remodel most of it, and it has a 1980 wood door with a weird design that everyone knew was 1980s, it screams 1980s. Change the front door, please, for the love of Christmas. Don't just paint it. Change the door. Everyone knows. Okay.
Yep.
And put a new door handle on it. Number 4, carpet and paint. And number 5, curb appeal. And number 6, remove or change out, or at least make all uniform, all the interior doors, handles, and hinges. That's the list.
Yeah, it's this. I was like, wait, is there one more? But nope, that's the 6. Well, perfect. So yeah, like I said, thank you for I felt like I was just sitting. This is what you want, guys. You want somebody to just feel like they're sitting down and talking to you, and you are giving them all the advice. Like I feel like Kelly just did for me. So wonderful.
We're gonna get you top dollar, Elizabeth.
Yes, absolutely. All right. And so this is what you guys need to be, talking to your clients about, because they will ask you, and you should have, right? Like we've said many times, you are the expert. You should have an opinion on these things when they come to ask you, not just do whatever you want, right? Like they're coming to you for advice. Have an opinion. Use some of those tips and tricks. Obviously, a lot of them paint carpet. We all know that. But Kelly shared some ones that I would not have thought about. Door handle, didn't think about it. So feel free to take some of those from Kelly's book and use those for your clients too, to help them get top dollar for their house.
Yes, ma'am.
Kelly, if anybody has any questions about this or anything else, how can they contact you?
Yeah, you can go to number 1, our website, buildyourrealestateteam.com, and get the game plan, the path on how you successfully over time build your real estate team. Buildyourrealestateteam.com. And then also they can just email me, Elizabeth, at info@kellycocombs.com, or they can call or text at myself, 480-227-2028.
Perfect. Let's all go get your clients some more money for their houses, and we will see you guys back here next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye, Kelly.
See you, Elizabeth.